All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers, the live Facebook interactive show where you, the viewer, has total input on topics of discussion regarding any subject that includes commenting, talking, or debating, not with just your host, but with each other, you, the viewers. You control and run this show. We are just the rudder that steers this big old vessel. This is the show that is wide open with no limits as we bring it to you first. We discuss news, politics, and business, sports, and other things pertinent to our community, to include Stark, Lake Butler, Keystone Heights, Waldo, Melrose, Brooker, Middleburg, Lake City, and the entire regional area. We will also talk about happenings in the great state of Florida and South Georgia as we talk about state news, politics, and sports, and also delve into news and current events going on in our great nation and the world today that affect our everyday lives. Now, let me introduce the show team, the guys that make it all happen, bringing the mood to the groove. First, behind the controls with the video and audio is our senior producer, Mr. Command and Control, the big dog, our executive producer, Super Dave Daredevil Hollis. Say hello to everybody, David. And joining him behind the scenes, keeping the flow to the show, is our director, Michael, the Dragon Slayer Heater.
He's off with the sports director, too, isn't he?
I think he is. Up next, our advertising and marketing guru, John, better than Snopes Probes. Right over here.
Bring it on up here, buddy.
Give it up. Yep, right there.
Yep,
our sports production assistant, Roger, the Tornado Cruz. Our man with all things weather, Austin, Store Chaser Stevens. Say hello to everybody, Austin.
Hello, everyone.
And now my co-host, to my left, is nobody right now.
Wait a minute. Austin's over there.
Because Austin slid in. To my right, he is our historian, governmental whiz on national and world politics. Byron, fighting to help keep your freedom and rights Bagwell.
Good evening, infidels.
Hey. And to my right again with local news and breaking information, Mitchell, the American Scout, your lookout on terrorism and anything else that does not belong or looks out of place, Gunner.
Man, I'm not that good looking, man.
Yeah, hey, Mitchell Gunner couldn't make it tonight.
For radio.
Yeah, Mitchell Gunner couldn't make it tonight. So we got me, Mr. Byron, we've got Austin, and we've got Roger. And, of course, I'm your host, Mr. David Rodgers, the voice of the Bradford High Tornadoes, and
the show pony.
Welcome to the show. We are coming to you live from the Emergency Operations Center here at the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. And we want to thank our host, Sheriff Gordon Smith, and his great emergency management staff for the hospitality that they always give us. Just a reminder about our new format to make sure you, the viewer, gets a chance to interact. That's right, folks. We have the all-new what, Byron?
ADO.
What does that stand for?
Audience-driven
overtime. That's right. Our new format gives everyone equal opportunity in each segment. But when we hit a topic near and dear to your heart, as we did last week, and you want to address it, we go into ADO, audience-driven overtime, so you get your say. But now it's time to kick off the show with our prayer, our Pledge of Allegiance, and the reading of Byron's great-great-great-grandfather, Benjamin Franklin, or whoever else you have on tap tonight.
Yeah, we'll see what I come up with.
All right, we'll see what you come up with. All right, let's bow our heads and let's say a prayer. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day, dear Lord. Thank you for the blessings and many blessings that you've given us throughout this weekend, dear Lord, and that you're going to give us throughout this week. Just keep a hedge of protection as we go throughout our work week and throughout our everyday lives. Bless those, dear Lord, that has an unspoken or spoken prayer request, and you touch and heal them as you see fit, dear Lord. Bless this great nation, dear Lord, the United States of America, the greatest and the freest country in the world today. And bless our armed forces, dear Lord, as they are out there fighting the battle to keep our freedoms right here in the United States of America. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day as it goes into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Again, thank you for letting us do this show, dear Lord. Thank you for letting us be here, and we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says, Amen. All right, let's stand for our pledge, as we always do here. Mr. Byron Bagwell, will you lead us off in the pledge, sir?
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Amen.
All right, Mr. Bagwell.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Not
You got that
real.
right.
You know, the quote of the day is not coming from Benjamin Franklin.
Okay.
Today. It's going to come from somebody that that a lot of people are familiar with but don't know a lot about. He was the Prime Minister of England during World War II.
All right.
Churchill?
Winston Churchill. Churchill said, "Socialism is a philosophy of failure, the creed of ignorance, and the gospel of envy. Its inherent virtue is the equal sharing of misery."
By Mr. Winston Churchill himself.
Yes, and that's a pretty powerful message.
Yes, it is. And, you know, we've been talking about this the last several shows, Byron, as you get into when you get into your world and national politics. And tonight, I know we got a special show because we've got a great college football game that's going on tonight. But we'll be back tomorrow night with delving into this here.
We'll go into some of that tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got the great game going on between the two Tigers.
Yes, that's exactly right. I'll tell you what. You want to make a bet? I'll bet you that a Tiger wins the national championship.
I would be willing to make a bet with that too. I'm not going to go much beyond that because I really think this is going to be a really, really great football game.
Me too.
A lot of people think that LSU is going to absolutely blow Clemson out. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good football game.
And we're going to delve into that here in just a second. But as we always do, guys, thank you for joining us. We're going to get in to this quick and dirty that we usually do. So we're going to get right at it right here so we can get into some football information. I know Mr. Bagwell, Mr. Prose, Mr. Holland, Mr. Stevens, and Roger Cruz wants to chime in on a little bit of this tonight. But right now, here's your special Monday night edition of the Quick and Dirty for this football championship night. Sponsored by Austin's Weather Service in Keystone Heights. Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook. Send in your zip code and get a detailed local forecast just for you. A White Springs man was killed last night after he was struck by a car in Lake City. Alan Odom, age 52, was struck by a car as he was riding his bicycle on Lake Jeffrey Road and Scenic Lake Drive. The Florida Highway Patrol is handling the investigation. Let me tell you how close that is to me. I work on Northwest Bascom Norris Drive. Those roads intersect. They just like go right there. So that happened right down the road from where I work at over at New Millennium in Lake City. There can be at times because of everything that goes through New Millennium, and they got that cut-through road now that you can go to that Walmart. You can get to 90 right off from that road as well. So Byron's been through there. He knows that little area. It all comes through 90 and intersects all there. So I can see where that happened.
I wouldn't get anywhere near 90 in Lake City on a bicycle.
No, absolutely not, man. You've been through there, Byron. You know the deal, brother. And, you know, at times it can get heavy, but people sometimes don't pay attention exactly what the heck they're doing over there.
Isn't Lake Jeffrey Drive the road that keeps on going out and it actually intersects with 41?
It does, yeah. And then if you come back the other way, going north, it comes into Bascom Norris.
Bascom Norris Drive. I don't know that I would want to go out towards that other way, towards 41.
No, there's no way. No, absolutely not. A Brooker man died following a crash involving a side-by-side. Wow. Neighbors called Bradford County 911 after discovering the man pinned underneath a Gator-style utility vehicle sometime overnight. A Brooker man remains in grave condition following a shooting in Brooker late Saturday night. The victim was transported to a Gainesville hospital, and the shooter was arrested by Bradford County deputies.
Good.
The investigation, still continues. Good. Yeah, that's exactly right. A couple of big stories right there in Brooker right there, Byron. You don't think Brooker, everybody thinks Brooker, is always peaceful and stuff. You can see there, you've got a couple of big stories, Brooker, in your little area there. St. Johns County firefighters rescued 3 people from the water near the Bridge of Lions in St. Augustine earlier today when their boat capsized. Thank God there were no serious injuries. Wow.
And the weather was calm at that time, might I add.
Well, yeah.
Capsize.
I was just going to go. We could get into all that. Putnam County school officials are pleased to announce that continued uptick of graduation rates. Interlochen High School tops the list with 94% of students graduating. How about that, Interlochen High School? Yeah. With Crescent City High in second place with 90%. Great job, Crescent City. This trend has been going for several years, according to the State Department of Education. In Keystone news, Taco Bell is looking to build next to Capital City Bank in Keystone Heights.
Yo quiero.
Yes, it. Plans are in the works, but no timeline for construction has been set. The Stark Police Department is warning people not to leave keys in vehicles after a rash of stolen cars in town over the last couple of weeks. Anyone who sees any suspicious activity should call and report it to 904-966-6161.
45 ACP.
That's my there you go. If I see it, that's what they're getting. Yeah. Except they're getting the 9 on this.
Well, that'll work.
Yeah, that'll work too. Columbia,
a couple more
yeah, just a couple more times. Yeah, the 45 will penetrate the hole right through you. Yeah, well, Columbia Eye Associates
it goes in like this and comes out like this.
That.
Yeah.
Columbia Eye Associates is hosting a ladies' night out tomorrow night from 6 to 8 p.m. at 1615 Southwest Main Boulevard in Lake City. The event called a New Year, a New You extravaganza. Man, I tell you what, that's where we'll be tomorrow night, right, guys?
New Year, yes.
Yeah. So finally, here's it. Hey, right, look, go back, John, a minute. Yeah, go back a minute. Columbia Eye Associates is hosting a ladies' night out tomorrow night from 6 to 8 p.m. at 6:15. Guess where we're going?
You can do a show tomorrow night in Lake City?
Well, I figured you wanted this ladies' night out. You want to do a show over there?
Sure, we can do that.
I'm sure we can do that.
We can do that. We can do that.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. John, are you in? Yeah, John's in. Finally, here's your Austin's Weather Service quick and dirty forecast for the region. The unseasonable warm temperatures will stick around for a while, but no severe weather is expected. Tell us a little bit, Austin. What else is going on, brother?
Right now, we are in a warm season, and it will continue for the next several days up until Thursday, when we'll start slowly, and I mean slowly, dropping temperatures. But our temperatures will not see the big drop until next week, with a possible hard freeze by Wednesday.
Whoa, really?
20s.
Who?
Mid to upper 20s Wednesday.
Really? Of next week?
Yeah, literally.
What's the definition of a hard freeze?
A hard freeze is temperatures below 27 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oof.
Well, yeah, you got to worry about the pipes. You want to tell everybody what to do about their pipes and things like that, Austin? I know you studied that a little bit.
You want to, if you've got like garden hoses and stuff, you want to have them slowly dripping and wrap your pipes in, blankets and stuff like that, insulation. And sometimes some people take actual like heating wire for like motorhomes and stuff, and they wrap it around the pipe to keep the pipe warm. That will work, but I don't expect anyone in Florida to have that stuff, as we don't witness that stuff that much. But just have your water dripping. Like drip, 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 like that. But also, tarp or whatever to keep the frost off of them. And plants and pets. Please check on the pets.
Yes, the pets.
Keep
very
the
pets inside. Yes.
Plants. Yep.
You got that right.
And that was when was that again?
That's Wednesday.
That's
Next Wednesday.
This is next Wednesday, not this Wednesday.
Not this one.
Not 2 days from today, but the fall.
Yeah, 9 days from now.
9 days. I just wanted to make sure that everybody heard and understood it.
I went to school in Mississippi. Is that right? 9 days from now? Don't answer that, Byron Bagwell. Don't answer that, Byron Bagwell. And that's your quick and dirty for this football Monday Night National Championship. Brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. From tropical weather to a flash forecast, find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook or click on the link from our On the Spot page to get there. There we go, and that's your quick and dirty. John, before we go on to some other stuff, can you tell everybody right here what our email address is? And let me tell you why I want you to give it. I'm getting, and y'all probably are too, I'm getting people that know me, and I don't care. We'll take it as we get it, if it comes through Messenger, through our Facebook or whatever. But we would rather them let it go to our email address, because then our guys can pick it up, they can put it all together, and then they can give it to us, the host, and then we'll be able to get to it from there. somebody may miss one or something like that. So it's better to go to the email because John Probst, Dave Holland, and Michael Heater really monitor that particular email address. So, John, if you'd be so kind, sir, to tell everybody what that email address is.
It is on the spot 32091@gmail.com.
That's on the spot 32091@gmail.com. So that's for any questions that you have for us on a particular show coming up. If you want to leave a comment, you can do that there as well. So that's where we would like for you to leave that. Also, I want to tell everybody how to be a member or a viewer of On the Spot and how that goes about. So, John, make sure I'm saying this correctly. So what you'll do is you'll go find On the Spot. You'll search it On the Spot with David Rodgers. You'll open it up, go down to about the middle of the page, John, or so. Is it right there, sitting there, give or take? About the middle of the page, and hit like. When you hit like, that means automatically when we do a show, which our shows right now are Tuesdays from 7 to 9 generally, or somewhere in that vicinity, and Saturdays the same time from 7 to 9. When we come on live, you'll get a bing, just like Ahmed did him. And or does you, and then you'll be able to tune in to On the Spot as you great viewers are tuning in now. So there you go. Infidels. So anyway, that's how you can get to On the Spot. I'll have John Probst put that on there as well. Give us some steps on there, so when they look at our page, they'll go, oh yeah, I know that email address, and I know how I can be a viewer of On the Spot.
And I'd like to make another comment
Sure.
about our email address.
Mm-hmm.
That is On the Spot spelled out, and doesn't matter whether it's uppercase or lowercase.
That is correct. Yep. So you can do it either way that you want. So On the Spot 32091@gmail.com. And like Dave said, you can do it any way that you wish there.
Billy's off his meds.
Yes, I see it. And we're fixing
No. The comment after that.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, we're fixing to get to him here in just a minute. But we want to welcome you in to this special edition of On the Spot. We decided to do it Monday night. First of all, we all had something going on Saturday night, so we couldn't do a Saturday night show. And what a great way. We just decided, hey, let's go ahead and do a Monday night show. We've got this big game coming up tonight between the LSU Tigers and the Clemson Tigers. And we're going to get deep into that here in just a couple of minutes. But I want to welcome all of our guests and all of our viewers that are on tonight. Miss Connie Wilson, Mr. Roger Cruz. Mr. Roger Cruz.
Roger Cruz.
Roger Cruz is in the building. Bart Norton, Billy Rayburn, Jimmy Burnett, Mary Ellen Carty there. How about Austin Stevens?
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, there's Austin's website.
Yeah, here we go. You stated that we run the station. I told y'all to cut and run a gas station. Oh, boy. Good evening, Connie. Byron is on the wrong side. Well, no, he wants to be on the right side. So there you go, with Mitchell Gunner not being here. Sheila Lyons, Tom Bailey, Bill Edgerton, thank you for coming on. More like a Shetland pony. Oh, you are off your meds, Billy Rayburn. I can tell you that right now. I can see that we're going to get into this pretty big time. Kim Crawford, thank you for joining us. Wow. Stephanie Loper, Lucy Davis, Mark Turgeon, thank you. J.J. Thompson's joining us. Anthony Black over there in Tallahassee, Florida. And Beckham Goins, thank you. Lucy, thank you very much for that. Great. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Yeah, we're doing great, Anthony. We're fixing to get into this football game and dissect it like you wouldn't believe. And then we're going to ask you guys who you think is going to win this game tonight. And I've got another oddball question I want to throw out to you guys as well. Goofball question.
Brother Dwight's on.
Yeah, Brother Dwight's on. Who's the nice-looking young fellow?
Thank you.
This happens to – Yeah, the way to the left over here.
Way to the left.
Yeah. This young man is Mr. Austin Stevens, Lucy Davis, if you've never met him. When we do the weather report, this is the young man, 17 years old, right, Austin? Mm-hmm. You're not quite 18 yet. So, hey, you need to tell all these older ladies you can't touch you right now. But anyway, he's getting shy on us now. He's getting a little shy on us. Turn a little bit red. But he's the one that does our weather and gives our weather report. If you ever want a good weather report, go to Austin's Weather Service. Tell her how to get there, Austin.
That is That is facebook.com/Austin's Weather Service.
Right, Facebook. There you go. So, Lucy, that's who that is. Jerry Feltner. How about it, brother?
Jerry.
Welcome in, brother. Hey, great wedding the other day.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations, man.
The couple looked beautiful. I hope everybody, I think everybody had a good time, had a lot of compliments about that. We'll get into that. So thank you for having us, Jerry. And I was glad that we got all that situated and got that figured out so I could be there. Jeffrey Goins, thank you for joining us. Good evening, brothers. Go LSU. Yeah, all right, Dwight. Keep making us some barbecue for us, brother. We love you. Y'all don't know you're north from the south.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what they say. Is Jerry on his meds tonight?
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe. Byron's on the wrong side.
That may be what both of them are talking about.
Maybe that's what they're talking about. Yeah. Byron's on, yep. Lucy Davis, hey. Shirley Pinska, how you doing? Mark Turgeon, 45 ACP. Bam, bam, bam. You got that right.
Because sometimes shooting twice is just stupid.
Yes, it is. Mr. Sheffield's on. Thank you for joining Mr. Sheffield.
Good evening, Scott.
Good evening, Mom. How you doing, Miss Shirley Bagwell? Hello, Mom. How are you?
Still waiting on that cake.
Yes, we are. Yeah, I need to ask her about that.
Lucy Davis with those comments. I mean, I'm telling you, just completely blocked from that event.
I know it is. Yeah. Well, yeah. Ladies only. She's blocking us from the event.
And of course, my mother has to chime in with that.
Yeah. John Probst is on.
You know what those kind of parties are.
I'll just come to the ladies' night and Byron won't come. Well, Mom, I'm going to tell you this. If you're going, I won't go either. None of us are probably going. Yeah.
John, I am going to tell you, you do not want to chaperone that. Never mind, I'll stop.
Yeah, you better stop.
We can be waiters and wait on the tables.
Y'all two are like a dog chasing a truck. If you could, you wouldn't know what to do with it. Stay away from Lake City. Shut up, Mr. Rayburn. I'm telling you what right now. Oxycodone, whatever. Man, that can't fix your daggum problem. Oh, my gosh. Here we go. David Kilgore, thank you for joining us. Byron Bagwell, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
There we go. Chuck Smith. Turgeon, there he is. Soup, Byron, go LSU.
What's up?
Wrong
What's up,
side.
Art?
Yeah. Sheila, yes, he has lots of laugh. Turgeon says LSU. Allen says LSU. Block says LSU by 21. Good grief. Charlie Anderson, thank you for joining us. And Lucy Davis says, thank you, Austin, for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And cool, I already subscribed to his weather report. Mark Turgeon subscribed to your weather report there.
Mark, he does the updates all the time.
Yes, he does, all the time.
It doesn't really matter what time of day you really need a report. You can go on there and find it.
Yeah.
Or you can message Austin Weathers at any time, and I probably will respond.
There
There has been times that I didn't look at the weather the night before. And went hunting and actually got updates at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
While I was
whether you wanted them or not, right? Yeah. Well, there you go.
I went ding, and I went, thank you. I actually needed that.
We were out on the show one night, and Austin said it's going to rain at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Oh, whoops. It poured.
Man, right down on us, didn't it? That was that night that we were trying to do that one show in downtown. Yeah.
Downtown.
Yeah, boy, he called that right. Listen, we women have to stick together. I'm assuming that y'all do. That's right, Connie. Okay, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Dan Baxter. Anyway, hey, glad that y'all can tune in and chime in. This is a special edition Monday night. We didn't get a chance to do a show Saturday, Byron. So now we get to do a Monday night show national championship preview.
Well, you were at the wedding having a good time.
Yes,
and I was at home.
Not feeling very well at all.
Nope.
Because you were going to come to the wedding, but you were feeling so rough you couldn't.
Augmentin works wonders.
Yes. Yes, I'm imagining it does. Dave Holland was doing some things. John Probst was working probably. We had Michael Heater doing some things because I was going to have him host the show, but he said he had some things going on. Austin would have helped him host the show, but I believe Austin was with some friends or something, right? Anyway.
I had a friend over,
yeah.
but even then, he wanted to meet Mr. David Rodgers because I was doing some stuff with the.
Well, you tell him the next tomorrow night he can come and he can meet Mr. David Rodgers and the crew. Yeah, there you go. So anyway, welcome in, guys. We're going to be talking sports, mainly the national championship game tonight. We'd love to have your input. I see already some LSU bandwagoners right there. I'm going to tell you why LSU is not going to win this game. Anyway, there you go.
And I'll probably add some to it.
Yeah. So we're going to get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. If y'all been living under a rock, hey, this is the last game of the college football season. Can anybody tell me, and even the audience, 140 days. Can anybody tell me what that means to them? Or if you've heard 140 days?
That's how long we're going to have to wait for college football to return.
You're sort of on the right path, Byron. It's the amount of days that we actually had a college football season, 140 days. Do you know that's a record?
Really?
By 10 days.
Really?
Yeah, 130 days is the longest season ever. Do you know why it's 140? Because we had to wait 2 weeks for this national championship game.
Oh, man.
Yeah, which is, we should have played that on the 6th.
Fine with Dabo, too.
Yeah, it is. And Mr. Venables as well. So anyway, that's where it is. We're down to the culmination right here, ladies and gentlemen. The nitty-gritty. Here we go. The meat and potatoes of it all. The 2 best teams left in the country. The number 1 LSU Tigers, ranked by the CFP, against the number 3 Clemson Tigers tonight. Where at? Hey, can anybody tell me? New Orleans, Louisiana, baby. The Metro Superdome right there. The Sugar Bowl right there. New Orleans tonight. Game time's at 8 o'clock. Right now we're sitting at 7:15. We want to wrap this thing up so we can get over there and get ready to watch a game so we can dissect it down tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're going to.
Yeah, we're going to. Believe you me, whoever wins or loses. So tonight, TV commentators tonight. Chris Fowler, play-by-play, and Kirk Herbstreit, color commentary. I know that probably doesn't resonate with all you guys too well, but that's the way it is. On the field reporters, Tom Rinaldi and Maria Taylor.
You might as well let – yeah, I like Maria Taylor better.
Yeah.
I like Herbstreit.
Yeah, well, I like Maria Taylor better than I do Tom Rinaldi.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, she looks better.
Yes,
LSU is a 5.5-point favorite, ladies and gentlemen, going in.
Yeah, see, now I can everybody's talking about how bad LSU is going to blow out Clemson. That line is actually more appropriate to what the game is going to end up being either way.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Byron. And we just said it tonight at 8 p.m. from Mercedes-Benz Superdome, New Orleans, Louisiana, as Byron said, the Sugar Bowl. The number 1 LSU Tigers, 14-0, versus the number 3 Clemson Tigers, 14-0. Something's got to give. Well, this year.
What was that total last year?
Well, that was 15, 14. That'd be 29-0.
29-0.
29-0. How about that? Maybe 30-0. I don't know.
Including killing the best team in the nation last year that had the best defense that anybody had ever seen in their life.
And they beat them by 4 touchdowns. That's what it was. Yeah, I remember that. All right, how they got here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you real quick. Byron, I'm going to tell you what. I'll read off Clemson's side. I know you don't really like LSU, but I'll let you read off LSU.
It's not that I don't like LSU. It's not that I don't think LSU has a good team. It's not that I don't think LSU has a chance to beat them.
Yeah.
But I think everybody is underestimating Clemson, and I think that's a mistake.
I believe you're right.
Now, I made a mistake the last game that I called because I underestimated Ohio State.
Yeah,
Ohio State played a heck of a football game, and Clemson.
They're a top 3 team. There's no doubt about it.
They played flat. Clemson played flat in that first half.
Yep, I agree.
They're not playing flat in this first half.
No, because I'm going to tell you right
now.
And
LSU's defense can't make them look like they're playing flat either. And that's the other thing that everybody's not talking about is LSU's defense.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah.
And
it's gotten better.
It's gotten better.
It's gotten better.
What did Florida do to LSU's defense?
Yeah, and I'm fixing to read off some stuff for you, and then you can tell me. All right, let's start with Clemson. Clemson beat Georgia Tech 52-14. Then they beat Texas A&M 24-10. Then they beat Syracuse 41-6. Then they beat Charlotte. Who cares? 52-10. Then they beat North Carolina 21-20, which was the scare of the season. And we talked about that.
Everybody has to understand something about
that
particular team.
Yeah.
That particular team gives good teams fits because it is a well-coached team and they have athletes.
Yep.
And they don't have great athletes, but they always have athletes. That is a good football team. Just take a look at what they did in their bowl game.
Coached by Mac Brown, as he just said.
He is
y'all
really
know anything
coach.
about Mac Brown? He used to coach North Carolina, went to Texas. Now he's back, and he's got the freshman quarterback of the year in Sam Howell. In all of football.
In all of football. I'm telling you, that's a good football team. And you might want to watch that team next year because they're only going to have one loss on their schedule.
Yeah.
Unless they're playing Florida State.
Yeah.
Then they'll have two.
Yeah, then we'll have to check the schedule. Speaking of Florida State, Clemson beat us 45-14. Then we got Louisville 45-10. They beat Boston College 59-7. Then they beat Wofford. Who cares? 59-14. Then they beat North Carolina State. I'm wanting you to hear some of these scores. 55-10. They beat Wake Forest, which was ranked 14th at the time, or 13th or whatever. 52-3. Jim and Eddie. South Carolina, they beat 38-3. Then they beat Virginia in the ACC championship. Here we go, 62-17.
Now, I want everybody to think about who Virginia played in their bowl game and how good of a football game that was.
Yeah, they played the Florida Gators.
They played the Florida Gators,
and
they played them tough, and they didn't lose by very many points.
No.
And Clemson, in a championship game, blew their doors off 62-17.
Mm-hmm. So just giving you a comparison, what he's doing is he's giving you a comparison here.
I think I don't. This is going to be a good football game.
There's
I'm
no
not
doubt.
saying Clemson's going to come out and run LSU out of the place.
No.
Because they're probably not.
No.
But don't be shocked if Clemson wins this football game.
Right.
That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Don't be shocked if they win the football game because that is a really good football team.
And then Clemson finishes it off in the semifinal. As Byron said, I underestimated them too. Ohio State is one of the top 3 teams in the country, and there's no doubt about it. Ohio State came out there and jumped on Clemson 16-0, shell-shocked them up a little bit, and then they put enough together on defense and offense, and they beat the number 2 team in the country at that time, 29-23, which was a heck of a ball game.
Well, you know, and they come out, they played flat, they got jumped on, and they got steamrolled in that first half.
Yes, they did.
And then
long touchdown runs that generally never
just
happen.
like good coaches do.
Mm-hmm.
They make adjustments in the second half, and Clemson come back and won that football game.
Yes, they did.
Now, I'm going to tell you something else. Everybody that knows me and has sit around and watch football games with me knows that I don't like when referees control the game.
Right. Yep.
Referees didn't control that game at all. Either way.
No.
The pass interference calls that were missed on both sides were horrendous.
Yep.
The holding calls that were not called on either one of those lines were worse than that. Because some of those long plays, both ways, were not every single play in a college or a pro game or high school game, you can find a holding call.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about where somebody's an offensive lineman has somebody like this. I'm talking about what David is doing with me right now.
Yeah.
I watched some of those plays, and running backs were escaping, and they were defensive ends getting mugged. I mean, mugged. One guy.
You've seen less muggings in New York City, didn't you?
I swear to God, there was one play that Ohio State had that their offensive lineman had one of Clemson's defensive.
It was Isaiah Simmons coming around the end.
He come around the end, and at the end of it, the guy was completely behind him and looked like was about to put him in a chokehold. He fell to the ground, and I swear to God, it looked like he was going to hop on top of him. I'm sitting there going, and the referee's standing there like Johnny Bench. I'm sitting there going, how can you not call that?
Yeah.
I mean,
we talked about that.
It's one thing if somebody grabs a hold of somebody's arm pad and somebody does outside and doesn't call it. It's another thing when you stop a defense from playing with an offense because you're just going to let these guys do what they want.
You're just going to do what they want.
What they
That's
want
exactly
to.
right.
It drives me insane.
Drives me too. Anyway, LSU schedule. Here's how they got here. Beat Georgia Southern 55-3. They beat Texas in a real close game, a real good game, 45-38. That was a great football game.
Really
and you see what Texas did to Utah. So there we go.
Now, did that surprise me?
No. Well, it surprised me of the score. I wasn't surprised that they won, but good grief.
It didn't surprise me at all.
Northwestern State.
No defense.
65-14. They beat Vanderbilt 66-38. They beat Utah State 42-6. They beat the Florida Gators in a really good game. Look, that 14-point spread was closer than that, 42-28. Mississippi State,
Florida
they beat
played
30.
out of their minds.
Yes, they did.
Played really good football. Good football game.
Mississippi State, they beat 36-13. And here's their close one. Auburn 23-20.
20.
Yes, and Auburn could have won that game. They had a chance to win it and didn't. So that's their close loss. So now you see the two close losses. We had the one against North Carolina. They had one against
Here's
Auburn.
Another close game.
Yes, it was. Alabama. The problem is Alabama could never get on top. They could never get that one stop that they needed. That was a 46-41 ball game. So that's two close ball games right there. I know Alabama's been ranked number one, and it's the college, the epitome of college football.
Okay.
But
this year was different because Alabama had some deficits on their defense.
Yeah.
They really did, and that game exposed them for the deficits that they had. They could not cover the wide receivers that LSU had.
I'm going to tell you something else, too. Here's another close game. Me and Byron was sort of watching this one. Ole Miss was giving them fits. They beat them 58-31 by 3 touchdowns, but they were trading 58-37, excuse me. They were trading touchdowns back and forth there in the third and fourth quarters. So Ole Miss was lighting them up, too, a little bit. Arkansas, they beat Henley 56-20. I was surprised they beat Texas A&M that bad, 50-7. And then Georgia, they beat 37-10. And then, of course, Oklahoma, they just destroyed them, 63-28. Oklahoma has no defense.
I knew that was coming with Oklahoma because Oklahoma has no defense. I thought maybe they could keep the game closer than that because they could score. But that was like watching a high school football defensively play against a college team. It was terrible. I mean, it was terrible. I turned it off about the end of the second quarter.
I was done with it.
Man.
Go ahead, Dave.
Out of that, how many of those games did they play tough teams?
Well, if you ask SEC fans, they're going to tell you every game is tough here. Now, the ACC was down a little bit. They've been down the last couple of years, and that's because Miami's down. And that's what I was going to say. They say they're down because Florida State's not relevant right now. Miami's not relevant right now. North Carolina. But as Byron said, these teams, next year, you're going to see an uplift of all these teams. And are we that weak? You got to think.
Virginia played a number 6 Florida team?
Yeah. So what? 10 points?
It was
10, wasn't it?
It ended up being 10, but it got
close.
Really close.
If that boy doesn't throw that interception, they go to tie that game.
And you're talking about a team that Clemson beat the brakes off of.
Right.
I mean, 62-17, that's beating the brakes off of somebody.
So right now, Dave, the ACC is the champion. They've got the belt right now. You know what I mean? Clemson's got the belt until tonight. And we'll see what happens. They still may retain the belt, but they're saying the ACC is weak. I'm with Byron. I don't think it is. I think there's great teams there that could challenge any of the SEC teams. Now, we'll give this to LSU. And the way they were ranked, they beat 7 top 10 teams. And, at one time. So that's one of those things there.
Bias.
That's it. Yeah, that's the rankings that you're giving right there. So anyway, that's how they got here, Dave. You can take a look at that. I want to go over some rosters and some names that you're going to be hearing tonight and the coaching staff of both teams. And then we're going to give you a tail of the tape. Me and Byron will do that. Then we'll have our picks real quick, and then we'll see what you think.
We better go.
Hey, for the LSU Tigers, quarterback Joe Burrow, 6'4", 216 pounds from Athens, Ohio. He's a senior. These are guys you're going to be hearing tonight. These are the starters. Running back, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Hilaire, right? Hilaire?
I'm not sure.
Hilaire. 5'8", 209 pounds from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's a junior. Left guard, Adrian McGee, 6'4", 343 pounds from Franklinton, Louisiana. He's a senior. Left tackle.
Had too much etouffee.
Yes. Shadig Charles, 6'4", 295 pounds from Jackson, Mississippi. He's a junior. Center, Lloyd Cushenberry III, 6'4", 315 pounds from Carville, Louisiana. He's a junior. Right guard, Damian Lewis, 6'3", 322 pounds from Canton, Mississippi. He's a senior. I want y'all to listen to see how young some of these players are and where some of this experience is coming in on you at. All right, right tackle, Austin DeClusis, 6'7", 322 from Mamou, Louisiana. He's a junior. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, 6'3", 192 pounds from St. Rose, Louisiana. He's a junior. Wide receiver, Jamar Chase, 6'1", 200 pounds from Harvey, Louisiana. He's a sophomore. Wide receiver, Terrace is the way, Terrace Marshall, 6'4", 200 pounds from Bossier City, Louisiana. He's a sophomore. And then tight end, does this name sound familiar to you? Thaddeus Moss, 6'3", 249 pounds from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's a junior. Do y'all know whose son that is?
That would be Mr. Moss's son.
Yes, you just got mossed. Randy Moss.
Randy Moss's son.
Yeah. All right, here's their defense, LSU's defense. They play a 3-4, Byron. That's the way they like to come out. Defensive end, Richard Lawrence, 6'2", 308 pounds from Monroe, Louisiana. He's a senior.
They better stay in it all night.
Nose tackle, Breeden Fiharo, 6'2", 291 pounds from Honolulu, Hawaii. He's Hawaiian. He's a senior. Defensive end, Glenn Hogan, 6'4", 309 pounds from Kenner, Louisiana. He's a junior. Offensive linebacker, Michael DeVenti Jr., 6'2", 241 pounds from Herrera, Louisiana. He's a senior. Inside linebacker, Jacob Phillips, 6'4", 233 pounds from Nashville, Tennessee. He's a junior. Inside linebacker, pretty good one, Patrick Queen, 6'1", 227 pounds. Ventress, Louisiana. He's a junior. The next guy is the player right there on their defense. Listen for this name. He'll be called a lot tonight. Outside linebacker, Clavion Chason, 6'4", 250 pounds from Houston, Texas. David, he's a sophomore. Yep. Cornerback, Christian Facton, 6 foot, 200 pounds, New Orleans, Louisiana. He's a senior. Cornerback, Derek Stingley Jr., 6'1", 190 pounds from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. David, he's a freshman. Starting. Safety, Grant Delpit. That's another name to watch out for. 6'3",
player.
Yeah, 203 pounds from Houston, Texas. He's a junior. And then safety, Jacoby Stevens, 6'1", 228 pounds from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He's a junior.
Go ahead and finish the list.
Okay, the LSU special teams. This is who you'll look out for. Their kicker is Cade York, 6'2", 189 pounds from McKinney, Texas. He's a freshman. Punter, Zach Von Rosenberg. I love that name. 6'5", 240 from Zachary, Louisiana. He's a junior. Kickoff returns is going to be Hilaire, and punt returns is going to be Darryl Stingley Jr.
I wanted to tell everybody something. You normally don't have linebackers that weigh as much as some of those linebackers that this team has, and it's because of the style of defense they play. The outside linebackers act more like defensive ends than actual linebackers. That's why those guys weigh that much.
Yeah, as Byron said, you'll see these guys creep up to the line of scrimmage. And that'll be five-man front.
And they better run that five-man front a lot tonight, because if you don't, Travis Etienne is going to hurt you.
All right. Speaking of Travis Etienne, Clemson Tigers offensively. Quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, 6'6", 220 pounds. Cartersville, Georgia. He's a sophomore.
So will that guy.
Running back, Travis Etienne, 5'10", 210 pounds from Jennings, Louisiana. He's a junior.
And he's playing at home, too, by the way.
Yes, by the way. And I'll tell you what, I'll be honest with you guys. Me, and I think Byron will agree, I think he's the fastest person on the field.
I don't think so.
Not
after watching what Trevor Lawrence did the other night.
Well, I think Etienne
he outrun the entire Ohio State defense.
Well, ATN can do the same thing.
Well,
I'm
that's,
just saying,
that's true. That's
ATN's
true.
probably
He
a
just doesn't-
4-4
He just
guy.
doesn't look fast because his legs are this long.
Long, yeah.
I mean,
It's a
he just
galloping
glides.
giraffe.
It's a giraffe.
It's a giraffe.
Yeah,
It's a
galloping
giraffe.
That kid is
That's
fast,
a giraffe.
man, I'm
He's
telling you.
fast.
I'm telling you. You
All
better
right.
get him at the. You better get both of them at the line of scrimmage if you
All
want.
right,
any
here's their
chance.
offensive line. Left guard, John Simpson, 6'4", 330 pounds from North Charleston, South Carolina. He's a senior. Left tackle, Jackson Carmen, 6'5", 345 pounds from Fairfield, Ohio. He's
That is
a sophomore.
big youngin.
Yes, it is. Right guard, Cage Cervaninka, 6'3", 325 pounds from Greenwood, South Carolina. He's a senior. Right tackle, Tremaine Ankrum, 6'2", 315 pounds from Powder Springs, Georgia. He's a senior. You listening to this, Dave? That offensive line sounds a little experienced, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Tight end, J.C. Chalk, 6'3", 255 pounds, Argyle, Texas. He's a junior.
There's another difference maker, but
Yes,
we'll talk about
well,
that.
wide receiver, T. Higgins, 6'4", 215 pounds,
6'4".
Oak Ridge, Tennessee. He's a junior. Wide receiver, Amari Rodgers, my nephew. Yep, 5'10", 210 pounds from Knoxville, Tennessee. He's a junior. And wide receiver, your buddy Justin Ross, 6'4", 205 pounds from Phoenix City, Alabama. And he's a sophomore.
Hold on. Wait. 6'4", 6'4",
6'3".
and 6'3", and you got one guy that's my height, and the whole entire wide receiver squad.
Not to mention the quarter.
I mean, and to tell you the honest
6'6",
truth,
yeah.
is saying 5'10", I'm almost 5'11",
11.
and this guy's
Yeah.
probably 5'9".
Good grief. All right, their defense. They like to run a 4-3. Defensive end, Logan Rudolph, 6'2", 245 pounds from Rock Hill, South Carolina, sophomore. I want you to listen to the class. Defensive tackle, Tyler Davis, 6'2", 295 pounds from Apopka, Florida, freshman. Defensive tackle, Niles Pinckney, 6'1", 295 pounds from Beaufort, South Carolina. He's a junior. By the way, Billy Rayberg, I did spot that factory where they make the Griffiths and the radishes or the Crawfords or whatever. Yeah, I did spot that. They make them a bunch of Griffiths. Yes. I love Kim Crawford. She's probably only going.
Crawfords and Griffiths is the same place.
They're making them up there. He's a junior. All right. Defensive end, Xavier Thomas, 6'2", 265, Florence, South Carolina. He's a sophomore. All right. The strong side linebacker. To me, the difference maker in the game, the spy, Isaiah Simmons, 6'4", 230 pounds from Olathe, Kansas. He's a junior. You want to say something about him real quick?
Speed.
Yes, kills.
Speed.
Yeah.
Speed.
And let me
More
tell you,
speed.
yeah, and here's a
come
guy
off
that
the
will
end.
pop you.
Come off the end
Yeah,
with more speed.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
guess whose shirt is getting really dirty tonight?
Joe Burrows.
That's exactly right.
Major. The middle linebacker. This guy will
Have you
pop
ever
you,
seen
Dave.
anybody-
Did you see this guy, James Skolaski? 6 foot, 235 pounds from Sharpsburg, Georgia. He's a junior. Weak side linebacker, Chad Smith, 6'3", 240 pounds from Sterling, Virginia. He's a senior.
Kid is really
Yes,
good too.
yes. Cornerback, A.J. Terrell, 6'1", 190 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia, a
A
junior.
6'1" corner. Okay.
Yep. All right, here's the shortest guy. Strong safety, Kevon Wallace, 5'11", 205 pounds from Richmond, Virginia, senior.
That's my height.
Here's the guy that made an impact in the game the other night, and his backup can too. Free safety, and he's a first-team All-American, by the way, I do believe. Tanner Muse, 6'2", 230 pounds, Belmont, North Carolina. He's a senior. Playing free safety, 6'2", 230. Jim and Eddie. And cornerback, Darion Kendrick, 6 foot, 190 pounds from Rock Hill, South Carolina. He's a sophomore. Here's their special teams. Will Spires, the punter, 6'5", 225 pounds from Cameron, South Carolina,
A
a junior.
6'5" punter.
Kicker, B.T. Potter, 5'10", 180
That's
pounds
better.
from Rock Hill, South Carolina, a sophomore. The long snapper, Patrick Phipps, 6'2", 210 pounds from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Holder, does this name sound familiar? Will Sweeney, 5'8", 185 pounds from
That's
Clemson,
Devo's
South
son.
Carolina, junior. And then punt returner, Darion Kendrick, and Amari Rodgers going to do that. And kick returner Joseph Nagata, 6'3", 215 pounds, from Folsom, California. He's a freshman, along with Travis Etienne.
He's also a wide receiver, too.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. All right. All-Americans playing in the game tonight, David. All-Americans. First team offense, Joe Burrows, quarterback for LSU. Wide receiver, Jamar Chase, first team All-Americans, LSU. First team defense, Isaiah Simmons from Clemson. And cornerback, Derek Stingley from LSU. What did I tell you he was? The freshman. Wow. Yeah. First team All-American. Second team offense, Travis Etienne, the running back from Clemson. Guard John Simpson from Clemson. And second team defense, safety Grant Delpit.
Delpit's from Clemson too, isn't he?
No, Delpit's for LSU.
LSU.
Yeah. Third team, Tanner Muse from Clemson. There he is. First team All-ACC. You got Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, T. Higgins, Tremaine Ankrum, and John Simpson. And on the defense, you got Isaiah Simmons, A.J. Terrell, and Tanner Muse. Second team All-ACC offense. Gage Cervinka. He's an offensive guard. Sean Pollard, the center. Defense, Tyler Davis, and cornerback Darion Kendrick. Third team All-ACC offense, Jackson Carmen. He don't even start. Defense, defensive end, Xavier Thomas. Defensive tackle, Niles Pinckney. Safety, Kayvon Wallace. Honorable mentions, I can't believe this, Justin Ross. Honorable mention. I don't know who did this. All-purpose guy, Amari Rogers. And defensivist, Justin Foster. All-SEC team. They only go two spots. First team offense, quarterback Joe Burrow. Center, Lloyd Cushenberry. Wide receiver, Jamar Chase, and running back, Hilaire. Defense, linebacker, Kayvon Chasen, and defensive back, Grant Delpit. Second team offense is offensive lineman Adrian McGee and offensive lineman Damian Lewis. And for their defense, defensive lineman Rashard Lawrence, defensive back Derek Stingley, and the return specialist, Hilaire, is on there again. So there you go. Now, that's a lot of great information, right? Let me see some of those comments, Dave.
There is a lot of great football players going to be playing tonight, and it should be a really good football game.
Yeah, it really should be. Now, let me give you the tail of the tape.
All that blowout stuff, y'all can talk all that blowout stuff you want to.
Yeah.
That's not.
Oh, man, where's that page at?
That's not coming. So one of these two teams is going to win this game between 10 and 17. It's 10 and 7 points.
Here you go,
what's
Byron.
going to end up happening.
There's the tail of the tape. Why don't you read that right there? The tail of the tape. Can you read my writing?
Sure.
All right.
LSU scores 48.9 points a game. Clemson scores 45.3 points a game. LSU allows 21.6, and Clemson allows 11.5. Let's see. Total yards per game, 564.1 for LSU and 538.4 for Clemson. Passing yards per game, 397.2 for LSU and 292.2 from Clemson. Running yards per game, 166.9 for LSU, 246.1 for Clemson. 339.9 yards allowed per game. And
passing yards.
No.
Oh,
that's
total yards. Those total yards.
264.1 for Clemson. Passing yards allowed 221.9 for LSU, and Clemson only allows 151.5. Rushing yards allowed 118 for LSU and 112.6 for Clemson. Now,
wow.
You look at this and you go, my God, LSU is going to murder them through the air. But here's the thing that I'm going to say, and I'm going to use a perfect example from the NFL from this last weekend. If you don't have the ball, you can't put it through the air.
No, you can't.
And Etienne's not Derrick Henry, but they can run that style of offense and eat clock the whole entire game. This will not be a high-scoring game, and it will end up being 10 points or 7 points.
I want to get through the comments real quick, and then we'll do some picks. Where's John at? Let's see. Lisa Baxter, hello there. Mark Turgeon says LSU. Sandy, hey, how's it going? Charlie Anderson, go Clemson.
Yes,
Gary
it is.
Feltner, go
Anthony
LSU.
Black is going to be a cat fight.
Yes,
right.
it is. But Lisa Hampton Thomas,
Welcome
thank you.
in.
I would like to talk dollars about the team on your hat, but I wouldn't right now, Byron. Well, we have to pull for our conference, and I see.
And not only about pulling for our conference, but we'll see what happens with our new head coach next year, too.
Yeah. Well, and that, I'm just talking about for tonight's game. Yeah. Clemson is going down. Well, we'll see. Mitchell Gunner, thank you. LSU by 10, Mitchell says he's stuck with that. Okay. Dwight Allen says Ohio State sucks. Well, there you go, Dave. What do you want to rebuttal on that?
Ohio State's out of it.
So do they suck?
That's history.
That's history, he says.
I'm about to make some
They were bad call on both teams.
I'm about to make some Florida fans mad. Ohio State would beat the brakes off of Florida this year.
No! There was bad calls on both teams.
21 points. 21 points.
Debbie
I would
Moody,
love to see it, too.
Debbie Moody
No, I
Allen.
wouldn't, because I wouldn't be able to stand it because I can't stand their old head coach.
What does he say? Byron, stop swearing to God on here, please.
All right.
Oh, who's that? Debbie Moody Allen? Okay. Yeah. Archie Waters. Hey, y'all. Okay, yeah, hey. Give the refs a break. They were at the bar before the game and halftime. Good grief.
And they apparently switched classes or something. I don't know.
Tonight's game, LSU over Clemson, 31-21.
Now, it's Archie. I can
buy that.
I can buy that.
I can buy that.
I can buy that score because that's reasonable. LSU is not blowing.
No. Mitchell Gunner, SEC, okay. ACC as a conference extremely weak. Okay. Well, that's
it's the classic teams in the ACC that are weak.
Right.
I mean, take a look at what Wake Forest did this
year.
Take a look at what North Carolina did. Take a look at what Virginia did. Take a look at what Clemson's doing. It's not the conference weak. It's that the traditional teams that are power teams in the ACC are not very strong.
No.
And I thought Florida State looked bad until I watched Miami play that bowl game. That was terrible.
That was terrible. Yes, it was. Could you go back real quick, Dave? I wanted just to see somebody right there. Just Amy King Hutton, thank you for joining us. Yes, Archie Waters. Go Gators next year. Bert Eddie McGee Jr., thank you. Roger Cruz, I don't know where you're at, buddy. You must be hiding. Let's see. We got Jason, Diane, and Angie. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a great game.
I think so too, Mitchell. I think it's going to be a really good football
Dwight Allen, I fully agree. I say the Tigers are going to win. Yep. Byron, you're smoking something. Nope. All right. Real quick, let's get some picks right here. Starting with you, Austin. Give me the score. Give me who you think is going to win tonight's game.
Well, I'm going to go Clemson on this one.
You're going to go Clemson?
Yep.
Okay.
I disappeared off camera for about 15 minutes while y'all were talking, but I was back there doing my research.
That's good. So you like Clemson by what, 10?
We'll go by 10.
All right.
This is going to be a cat and dog fight game, literally.
It's going to be a good football game.
Dave, I wanted John's opinion, but Dave, I know what you have stuck with. This is going to be interesting because he hasn't told me yet.
Yeah, I haven't said anything because they're both so evenly matched that it can go either way. So I'm going to have to go for the underdog.
Okay.
And I think the underdog's LSU.
Okay. Good call. All right. Yeah. All right. So probably what do you think?
21-24.
24-21 for field goal. I like it. I like it.
That's respectable.
All right, Mr. Byron Bagwell, here we go. You broke the game down a little bit. We broke everything down that we could possibly imagine. Game time's in about 12 minutes.
I think Clemson is going to beat LSU by 10 points.
Okay.
I think it's possible that Clemson beats LSU by a lot more than that, but I'm not going to predict that.
Okay.
That depends on which team shows up. If the team and I know they don't have the same defensive line that they had last year, but they still had the same offense. There's not very many players that are gone for it. If that offense shows up from last year's national championship game and that defense plays a halfway decent game, the SEC could be shocked again, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a 10-point game, and I think Clemson is going to win it 31-21.
I like Clemson as well. I like it in the same vicinity as Byron. I like it 35-30. I like 35-30 Clemson. I think they have the ball last and they figure out a way to win it or a special team. Something's going to happen that it's going to go into Clemson's favor. It has been all year. I know LSU is this great, and both of them are good teams. Don't get me wrong, both of them are good teams. This game can go either way. I just like Clemson. I like the 2 weeks worth of preparation that Sweeney and Venables have got.
With the number one defense in the nation.
Yeah, if they can get any kind of pressure on Joe Burrows, I'm telling you, this is going to be a rough night for him.
They're going to get pressure on Joe Burrows. They may not sack him very many times, but his jersey is going to be dirty by the end of this night.
Yes.
And it's going to rattle him because
Yeah.
Nobody has done that to them this year. They will figure out a way to do it.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us for On the Spot. We'll be back live with you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock right here from the EOC. We will be breaking this game down. We will be talking local news. We'll be talking some national and world news as well. And I will break down the other sports that we didn't get a chance to get to tonight as well. You have one last thing, brother?
Yeah, Dwight Allen says LSU by 21, and Mitchell Gunner says LSU 30-20.
Ooh,
and
that could be. That's not bad scores.
Dwight, I don't know what Dwight's thinking. He's watched football and played football too much to think that. But Mitchell Gunner is pretty much right on
there.
Either one of these teams could win this game.
Yeah.
That's the thing about this. I really believe that either one of these teams win this. If one team comes out and plays on fire and another one plays flat, this game could get away
easily, real quick.
But if they both come out and play the way they can play, this is going to be one of the best football games
that y'all will ever see.
That you will see in a long, long time. There's been a lot of great football games. This one could be up there with it.
Yeah. Right.
LSU got advantage. It's home in New Orleans.
Oh, LSU doesn't have any advantage.
Yeah, you're right in a way, but it's not going to – it doesn't make a matter to Clemson. Clemson's won everywhere.
Clemson doesn't care.
Clemson doesn't care. That's the thing right there. I know everybody has that farce.
If this was a different football team, I would say differently.
Right.
There is something – that Dabo Sweeney is doing with Clemson it makes it doesn't matter where he goes.
You're right.
You give him 2 weeks to prepare for somebody, and he's going to dissect that team. And if he's got talent on that team to take advantage of it, he's going to take advantage of it. I'm telling you guys, you're making a mistake if you think Joe Burrows is going to have 500 yards in this game.
Yeah.
Because Joe Burrows is going to see the dirt for the first time.
Well, at least the turf. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. God bless you. Join us for On the Spot tomorrow night. Good night. God bless you.
Good night,
Enjoy the game, man. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the football game.
Have a good night.
Good night, infidels. Good night, infidels.